everybody, welcome to BrickVault. This is another LEGO Top 10 MOCs of the Week, our Sunday episode where we show you the 10 coolest creations we happen to see people building throughout the week. And like always, it's always a lot more than just 10 creations. There's a bunch of links in the description below to all kinds of Flickr accounts, some YouTube videos, basically all the really cool stuff we happen to see people building in LEGO throughout this last week. And like always, if you have MOCs of your own and want to send them into us, we do a fan mock creation video every now and then. And the email with the proper formatting on how we like to receive those pictures is also in the description below if you want to send in builds of your own. This week, the build that we put up in our web store is the Vulture Droid Minifig Scale. It comes in both the tan from the Trade Federation as well as the gray and blue for the Separatists. It is an original design from my brother. It's very, very poseable, pretty darn strong, and also comes with a display stand. Righto, jumping into the very first build of the week, number 10 is called the Open Road by JS Ninja Nerd. We've never featured this builder before in the past, and I gotta say, the two greatest things about this build are A, the muscle car. This is a 1969 Mustang Boss 302. It's got a spoiler in the back, excellent detailing with the black on the sides, and then you guys might have noticed already, but that is probably the best color gradation I think I've ever seen for sandy or desert landscape. The thing that really ties that look together is the fact that this guy used a lot of flesh colored bricks, which are I think pretty rare and almost always pretty expensive to get your hands on, but it adds just the right level of really making the darker orange on the top fade into the dark tan. Absolutely amazing little scene. Remember guys, Flickrs are all in the description below if you want to check out more pictures and more builds done by these designers. And then number 9 is also from a builder we've never featured before. This is called Model Obsolete Dragon Unit LL32167 by Deus Otiosus. Now on the surface, the things to like about this build I feel like are pretty self-explanatory. You have a big robot dragon. Awesome. But upon closer inspection, you can see some extremely clever and super unique building techniques, namely those nice little arcing curves that you have for the wings look to be built from blue train track pieces. Like that's definitely something I've never seen before. The use of the ski pieces that make up the rib or sort of belly armor on the inside or right below the chest looks amazing. And generally speaking, the greebling and connection points that make up just about all sections of this dragon all look to be very complex and extremely unique. Excellent use of the binocular pieces that make up the nostrils on the head, and let's move on. I think I've said it before, but it probably cannot be said enough. I believe Full Plate, the designer of this build, is probably the single best plant designer, at least for minifig scale, that I've ever seen. This is called Panda House, and what we're looking at is an actual design from a real place in the Copenhagen Zoo. The circular arcing design is built with what I believe is a nice subtle brick bending technique, and the enclosure for these pandas below is absolutely chock full with all kinds of greenery and jungle detailing that absolutely bring this whole display to life. The bamboo looks really recognizable, which I can appreciate. The tree is amazing. Highly recommend you check out more plant builds from this guy. And now let's move on to a build number 7. It's a micro one, completely different from anything else we've shown off so far in this episode. It is from Marco de Bon, and it's called Lego Micro City The Beach. From the looks of it, it feels like we're in a bit of a resort town or a nice touristy spot in a tropical area. The apartments or buildings all along the edge of the giant waterfront feel like nice resorts or nice hotels. There's a little dock out in the front, which I think might have some restaurant buildings or something that's right in the edge of the water. We've got some nice little boats hanging out along the surf line, and I love the color gradation between the beach and the deeper water with all those different colored plates underneath the trans clear plates and tiles. Wonderful little designs as well that make up the different kinds of buildings all along the edge, and the minifigure shark headpiece at the seafood restaurant is an excellent little touch. Let's move on. This build number 6 is called Revenge Ironclad by Sunder59, and I just absolutely love the hull design that has made up this, what I believe is an ironclad ship. It's a little battleship, a little warship, and personally I was planning on building some type of ship build, and I absolutely love the approach with this hull design. It seems maybe one of the more smooth, easy, gradual little curves with very few breaks between the different angles that make up that side paneling. So I absolutely love how we got that to come together. The deck looks really, really clean. All those little plates built along their sides give the impression of the wood grain that would be along the deck. And and even the string detailing is incredibly clean. Moving down to number 5, this is from a builder we haven't featured in quite a long time. We've got ourselves another classic space-inspired spaceship from Aido. This is called Blue Artemis. The side brick-built wings look amazing. I like that they were covered up with those nice, long, curving slope pieces in blue along the top. The larger circular piece in blue that goes right behind the cockpit piece, I think is a wheel. I'm not totally sure about that one. And then probably my favorite little detail is the inside of the intakes has those little rounded over pieces with the little cross indent. I think that it's the top of an old knight helmet. Extremely subtle detailing on this model. Very, very clean. I think that's also bionicle pieces right in the back in blue behind the fin. And now let's move on to a builder I absolutely love the designs that come from Letranger, Absurde. This one is called Great Balls of Fire. So what we're looking at is Jerry Lee Lewis playing his hit from 1957. And number 1, I just love the characters that come from this builder. There's a very consistent sort of stylistic choice made here, and all of these guys always feel very, very animated as well as articulatable. The piano design is amazing, and the fire coming out the top is a wonderful little creative touch there. If you haven't seen other creations from this designer in the past, I highly recommend you do. And now we're jumping into the top 3. This is actually one of the smallest builds from the week. This is called Maglev Racer by Chris Perron. In his description, he says that this design was inspired by Brian Sum's concept art, and ultimately what we have here is just an excellent combination of curved pieces and super interesting build design choices. Right off the bat, that is a Duplo ball that is in the back being held in by different basketball hoop pieces, and then the main bit of armor or sheet metal that wraps around the pilot is just an absolutely amazing combination of arch pieces and curved slope pieces. The orange that wraps around the arms on either side looks wonderful, and the wheels seem to be made of just disc pieces in the front, but they're studded against each other. This design is what I'd say is the epitome of a clean Lego build. And now we're moving on to number 2. There's actually a series of these Titanfall builds. They all come from Marius Herman, and the main one I'm featuring right here is the IMC Rising. The build design for this robot, and actually all the Titan robots, really takes me back to the early days of Mech Warrior, but only cooler. He's got all kinds of Titans built with different really great backdrops, I think. They're not necessarily stands, but just wonderful scenery backdrops to have these Titans standing around, I think, with a little bit more context to them. The building techniques are amazing, and even just as I'm recording this, he uploaded another picture of just a closer shot of Reaper from Titanfall 2. Anyways, big old robot builds are always welcome here at BrickVault, and these are some of the best ones I've seen in quite a long time. Now moving on to number 1 from the designer ExeSandbox, we've got a build I think titled Nothing Like a Ford on a Lake. Some of you guys might get ticked that this is a build that only exists in a digital file, but I don't really care, because from what I can tell based on how this build is put together, structurally speaking, I think this would all actually be able to stand up all on its own without any structural insecurities, which for me totally justifies I think having it up here with the rest of these models that have been built IRL. As you can see, this is an absolutely massive scene created. This is a different design for the Mustang. I don't even think it's that, well, it might be somewhat based on what came out recently from Lego, but there are clearly some different design choices made for this large Mustang, and ultimately what really makes up this mock is the entire scene surrounding it. Instantly, when I saw all the rocks underneath the tiles along the top, the trans clear ones, I could see that this builder had created a scene in nature that I think everybody has seen before, at least seen pictures of, but it's never really portrayed this way. When people make rivers in Lego, they always use the blue, but actually there are perfectly clear riverbeds like this where you can just see all of the rocks, the nice smooth stones, some of them popping up above the water, but most underneath. The trees are excellent with the shifting colors all along the edge of the riverbank, and then we have some very impressive building for the arched bridge, and especially the curving road. Look close at that curving road, and you can see it has been built sideways with just a massive amount of plate pieces. This is the part of the build that I'm not sure if it could perfectly exist this way IRL. This is something I'd actually like to see at a larger scale. If you guys know any pictures or know of any builds where somebody has attempted something like this in real life, please let me know in the comment section below. And now I'm flashing by a few more pictures of builds that I found this week that I think are awesome, but just didn't have time to talk about. Remember, remember, these guys are also all linked in the description below if you want to send in builds of your own for a fan mock video that will be coming out eventually. That email is also in the description below. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoy our content, you can always like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault. Hey everybody, just wanted to pop in very quickly, let you guys know that we've got a Lego web store, www.brickvault.toys, where we sell the PDF step-by-step instructions for some incredibly awesome Lego MOCs. I highly recommend you guys go check it out if you're interested in building something a little bit more high quality, way more detailed, and the revenue from the web store helps support us here at the channel, as well as the designers that build these awesome Lego creations. So anyways, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.